Good morning, everybody. It's Laura from McNeely Garden Studios, coming to you Tuesday at 10. It's kind of chilly today. But we are going to be doing some really fun things today. I'm going to be showing you a few techniques that I know using a jelly plate. I am by no means an expert at jelly plate. This is a new thing for me, but I just figured that I would share with you. Sometimes I'm able to bring you things that you didn't know, and sometimes you can learn from my mistakes, right? So we're going to be doing that today. I have some different tools, things that I have accumulated over the years, and I don't remember where these came from, but I feel certain it had something to do with one of my children. But this, it makes really interesting designs in the paint. So we're going to be using this. I found this just somewhere. I don't know. It's kind of pliable. It is wood, but it's like balsa, and I've used it to print so many times that it's starting to get kind of flimsy. But sometimes you can just find things that you like the shape of and get it, use it, and see what you can make it look like. Something that we're going to try today that I've never done on the jelly plate. I've done it on paper, but we're going to be using a comb. You can see that I've already used it many times, but we're going to try this on the jelly plate as well. And I have a couple stencils. You can use that on the top and the bottom of the paper. It makes two totally different, interesting looking designs. Of course, we need a brayer to get the paper on, to get the paint on there. But this is something I found, which is, I think it's a placemat. I'm not really sure. It's one of those things where someone picked it up in the store and they discarded it. They decided they didn't want it because it was in a totally different section than something like this should have been. And I was like, well, that's so interesting looking. So you see how pristine it is. So I've never used it. We'll see how it works. It's kind of thick, which is one of the things that kind of makes me nervous, because when you do jelly printing, usually you pick up the paint from the negative space. This might pick up on the design itself. I'm really not sure how it's going to work. I kind of have an idea, but I'm not certain. And so the reason that we're doing some fun things that are not that I'm not very comfortable doing is because in my membership, Art and Answers, every month has a different theme. And so this month's theme is creativity and exploration. And you know, the McNeely Garden Studios style of teaching art, there's always a personal enrichment story that goes along with it. And so we are going to be doing different things to make collage papers, all different styles of ways to make collage papers. And we're going to be doing that every day this week, 3 days this week. And then we're going to take all those together and make collage. And so they have 3 different designs, shapes, I guess, to choose from. And I mean, the possibilities are just endless between the colors and the design and the shape and the composition. I mean, it's just endless. So that is super fun. I always like to let you guys know what we're doing in the membership, because it's just, we have so much fun over there. And then there's one last thing over here that I'm going to keep as a surprise. So I'm going to turn you down onto the, I see people here. Hello, good morning. I don't know who you are yet, but good morning. So I'm going to turn you down. I won't be able to see who you are until a little bit later. Please, give me a comment. Let me know that you're here, and if you're enjoying what you're doing. So ready? I'm going to turn you all the way down here to my plate. I think I'm going to move this over here so you can see a little better. And I've got a few colors picked out. Imagine that, you know, blues, greens, those are my favorites. I do have some whites. So we're just gonna kind of move those over here. And I'm just gonna be using regular copy paper today. And the thing about Gelli printing is this is just a little rubbery mat if you've never seen one. So see how squishy it is? Actually, it kind of reminds me of my little thing over here, my little tactile thing that I enjoy. Is that not the cutest thing? It's supposed to be stuck to the back of your phone, but I don't think I could deal with that. So I just like to touch it sometimes, but this kind of feels the same way. And, you know, when I was a little girl, my mother was, you can't touch that, don't touch that, don't touch that. And then when I grew up, now I touch everything. I want to see what things are like. So I'm going to put just a little bit of paint on here. It doesn't take much. And we're going to try some different things. And I usually try to keep a piece of copy paper just off to the side because a lot of times because I'm not very experienced, I get too much paint. And so I need somewhere to like brayer it off on. So this is a foliage green, which is just crafter's paint. And this one is folk art, and it's a shimmery gloss green. I think it says breeze flask, but I'm not sure because it's metallic and it doesn't, you can't read it very well. So I'm going to put a little bit here. It's sticky. And we're just going to make lines. There we go. All right, so, and you tend to go, even though you'll see me come back, I'm only going to be rolling in one direction. I still can't see any comments, so you guys keep commenting. And I will come back later and address your comments since I won't be able to do it now. And if you're coming and seeing me later, please give me a hashtag replay so I can know that you're here. And excuse me. Okay, so I have a thin layer here, and I'm just going to brayer this off. And what's interesting, if you go one way, the other way, as it goes all the way around once is when it's the thickest, and then it begins to diminish. But sometimes if you have enough on there, it actually makes like a plaid kind of thing. All right, so which one should we use? I think I'm going to use the comb for some, just so you can see. And we'll use this. And so generally, I have these like long tweezers because you want it to be a nice crisp impression. I'll turn this around like this. So the whole point of all this is trying to do some things that you're not familiar with, getting out of your comfort zone and trying some new things, trying to figure out how to get out of your slump, how to get out of your just kind of being not creative. And that definitely happens here in the wintertime. Oh, that made an interesting design. I put the extra paint from there on that, and that turned out very nice too. This also will find its way into collage later, just so you know. All right, so I think we're gonna, now you can put another color on there if you want, but this has to be a certain dryness. And you have to kind of work quickly, but sometimes not too quickly. And it's best to use a cool dryer. I'm going to use this, but I'm going to use it from a distance. You don't have to do that. Sometimes you can just leave it. Kind of different prescriptions for different things. And here's a little trick. You can turn it over and see what it's going to look like. I see some more people here. I'm so glad you came, but I can't see your comments. Let me see if I can swipe. They'll come. You just keep telling me whatever you want to tell me. So there's two ways. You can peel the paper off of the Gelli plate, or you can peel the Gelli plate off the paper. And if you have a particularly unique design, intricate design, sometimes it's better to pull the plate off of the paper than the other way around. So let's look at this. I don't know if you can see. You can see the shine, you can see the leaves. Which one do you like better? You like the comb with those little lines, or the fern? Isn't that neat? Very interesting. And then if you have paint left over, that will probably end up on the next print. And as long as you know that, then you can proceed, whether you want to use that or not. And what's interesting about it is the paint is just as dry. It's already dry. So that's interesting. Now, let's see. I'll do this color. This is always a pretty color. Ooh, I'm already getting ideas for collage. I love it. I think I'll put that color on here. All right, so I'm going to go through. This is just a very thin layer. So I can tell I've already got too much paint. It's pretty technique sensitive. But see, that's what's fun about it. You have to learn. This off here. Oh, that made such a beautiful, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Love that. Take a little bit more off. The brayer's not even wanting to roll. It's got so much paint on it. Like it's not sticky enough. Okay. So this time we'll try these little interesting tools. And you can make straight lines. You can make curvy lines. That's with that one. This one has wider. Interesting, right? We'll go ahead and use another clean piece of paper. And you can use these papers over and over again. We're going to do that. We're going to give you the multi-layered look. Oh yeah, that's gonna be pretty. All right. This time I'm just gonna pull the paper up from the Gelli plate. And look at that. That turned out really interesting. How about it? All right, so let's add another one here. What color should we use? Let's use this one. This is a periwinkle. So pretty. So now, let's learn from our mistakes. Don't put as much paint on there, right? I'm also gonna get another piece to spray off on because I like the way this is looking, so I'm gonna leave that. Get that piece. These colors are going to look pretty together. And of course, wherever you have taken the paint off, it's going to show up in those holes. Like this one has white, so this purple's going to show up in those holes. All right. So I'm going to put this down. It's beginning to, that particular paint has a lot of water in it, so it's starting to pull out. And I'm just using this as a scrap paper, although I really shouldn't do this because sometimes I like the pattern on both sides, and then I don't know which one to use. Nothing is ever really scrap. Everything is reusable. Okay, so this picked up all the circles, all the dots on there. And I'm gonna pull this up. And I'm gonna put this down. We'll see if we can get an impression of those circles on there. I'm really not sure that this picked between the two of these, this picked up a lot of paint. I wonder, this is the exploration part. I wonder if we put this here. Well, I'm letting this dry. This is just a hotel key card, and I'm gonna rub it on there. It leaves sort of an impression when you rub it on top of a stencil like this. So you're gonna be just as surprised as I am. Nope, it was a little too dry. It was a good try. I do have an impression of the dots on here though. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, there we go. So you have faint circles. That's very pretty. All right. Or I could have left the stencil on there and gotten these purple spots on here, but I really kind of like the round bubble-like thing. Do you like that? Very interesting. All right. So let's try our mat here. I think we'll use another page too. All right. And let's do two separate. So what kind of things do you like to experiment with? What kind of materials, or what do you do? Or what kind of things do you want to learn? I've always got a list a mile long of things I want to get into and find out about. Sometimes I have to hold myself back, but so that I don't get so much going on at one time. What do you guys like? What do you like to try? Or what have you tried that you're not proficient at yet? And you see all those little imperfections? My brayer has little dots on it. I cleaned it off not too long ago. I'm sure it's something that I'm doing that's not completely correct, but we're all learning. So I'm gonna put this mat down here. Really press it down all over. Oh yeah, that's neat. I don't think it'll come up off of here, but we're gonna just give it an opportunity. And I think it's because this has glycerin in it so that it keeps it pliable and soft, whereas this is just hard plastic. Oh, we got some. I think it's because I put it down immediately. Oh, look at that, you guys. Look at those little, that's interesting. Oh, I'm so glad I tried that. So see, learned something new. Oh boy. Somehow I just knew, whoever that was that discarded that thing, I'm so glad they did. It was like meant to be for me to find it. Look, didn't that turn out fun? I love that. Okay, well, let's see. Just do a thin layer of this. I still don't see any comments, you guys. Well, that's not gonna work. And you can use paintbrushes, you can put designs, I mean, just all kinds of things. It's endless. That's why it's working for our creativity and exploration. I'll let you guys in on a secret. Art and Answers is going to open soon. So if these kinds of things that we're doing resonate with you, you might just want to consider joining us. I can feel the impression from those designs in there. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, very pretty. Very pretty. You have to look carefully. It kind of washed that out, but I didn't use this one. I used the one that we just did on the plastic, but you can see it in there. I probably should have done more of those lines. Isn't that interesting? Okay, and I have one last surprise thing. And this is something, that I have not mastered, but it's something that I thought was so interesting. And a lot of people know how to use magazine pages. And they will, so the way I understand it is, if it's magazine page where it's printed with the kind of ink that is actually plastic, then it will stick to the Gelli plate. Whereas sometimes just a copy or whatever won't. But what I have done is I found You want something with a lot of contrast. I have 2 of them. And these are from magazines, but I just made a copy of them. And so we're going to use that and put the design on there as well. Let's see. I think we'll use this other stencil I have. I like that. And I like to use kind of a lighter color, I think. So you have to think in backwards. So whatever's going to be on the front side is the first layer, and then you build it on up from there. Let me see if I can see. I see a bunch of you here, but still no comments today. So we're gonna have to kind of change the way we handle things because pretty soon our lives are not going to be on here anymore, and we're still kind of excuse me, debating what we're going to do about that. There's lots of options. Just have to figure out what is the best option for each of us and what's user friendly for you guys too. Okay. I'll put this on here. I love that you end up like with a twofer. You get the negative and the positive impression. Oh, very pretty, very pretty. I missed that little section right there. I think I'll just go in there and grab it. Oh, very nice. And then, let's see, that eye is gonna be right there. Let's do it like this. I'm sorry, I see that I'm shaking the camera. It's not making you sick. All right. So what's fun is now that design is on there. And we do that again. Guess we still have some paint on here. How many of you have a Gelli plate already? And I guess the best question now is how many of you have one but haven't used it yet? And the reason for that is because you're probably paralyzed with fear. You don't know what to do. And I'm here to show you that I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not going to ever learn if I don't try. So when you're looking at videos, just look at one video, either make some notes but get in there and try it, because you're not really doing yourself any favor if you don't apply what it was that you learned from that wise person that did the video. I mean, we're all just an accumulation of all the things we've learned from other people. Now see, I got a wrinkle in there, and I figured that, I bet that's gonna affect it. Oh my gosh, you guys. Is that not beautiful? I did get that wrinkle. Not too happy about that, but that's okay. How about it? Can you see the design in it? Oh, look at my wrinkle. Interesting, huh? All right. So I'm gonna pull you back up here again. Hi. So I still don't see any comments. I know you guys are there. I know you're talking. So I will answer any questions that you have when I get back, when I look at it finished, and then when I'm finished. And I'm gonna be filming some things for later on this week. So you guys be watching for that, okay? And as always, I'm always so thankful that you're here. It just warms my heart. Warms my heart. Anyway, thanks for coming, and I'm sorry that I can't see your comments, but I'll see you later. Thanks. Bye.